Hi y'all, so today I'm going to be telling you my 5 least favorite books of 2017. It is the 27th as I'm filming this, so I do know we have 4 days left in the year. I'm currently in the middle of 3 books, but none of those 3 books will make it onto this list, so I thought I'd go ahead and film it anyways. I will be doing it in order from like best of the worst to like worst of the worst. That being said, at number 5 comes Are We Smart Enough to Know How Smart Animals Are by Franz de Waal. And this basically looks at how we do on the experimentation methods that are used to understand animal cognizance and animal behavior. I found it a little bit condescending toward other scientists who use methods that he didn't advocate for. And I found a lot of the information to be pretty basic. I do have a microbiology degree, so if I didn't have a sciencey background, I might have found this a little bit more interesting, or if I was more into psychology, you might actually like it. So for me, it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. Number 4 is The Father Christmas Letters by J.R.R. Tolkien. This wasn't bad, and what this is the collection of letters that he wrote to his kids as Father Christmas every year. And I just found them a bit boring. I think if you're a fan of J.R.R. Tolkien, you might appreciate the sentiment a little bit more than I did. I did enjoy how he explained to his kids why Christmas might not be what they expected, why they might not get things they get every year due to economical hardships. But he explained it in like kind of problems that Santa had at his workshop, basically. So I enjoyed it for that, but it just didn't give me all the Christmassy feelings that I wanted. So if you're a J.R.R. Tolkien fan, maybe pick this up. If you're not, maybe skip it. At number 3 is Nor Will Get You Nowhere by Kelly Cutrone. And this isn't necessarily bad, even though I gave it 1 star. It's the first 1 star on the list. However, it is not what it is marketed as or what it is described as. I love Kelly Cutrone for what she does for feminism and for being a strong female and a female in the workplace. And she tells you like it is. And I expected this to be like this, except it was more of Kelly Cutrone gives you sex advice and tells you what to do after having kids so you can have better sex after having kids. And Kelly Cutrone's spiritual beliefs, and she shares that for like half the book. And if it was marketed as that, I wouldn't have had an issue with it. I may not have picked it up, but if I did, like I would have known that going in. But it wasn't what it was marketed as, and so I was extremely disappointed. I didn't enjoy it. Therefore, it got 1 star. At number 2 is The Flame in the Mist by Renee Audier, which I also gave 1 star to. I read this during the biannual bibliothon because it was the group book, and it was absolutely horrendous. The main character is whiny, pretentious, arrogant, and she thinks the world revolves around her. And as a princess, which she is, it kind of does, but she's now thrown into the situation which she kind of put herself in. There were other things that she could have done and ways that she could have gone about things that she chose not to do, and then to like sit there and whine about everything, it was awful. There were major plot holes, and some of like what Renee Audier did as an author is she would describe these like details with such intensity and with like such like length that you would think that these were going to be major things that would factor into the plot later on, into the story. And then you'd get to the end of the book and you're like, she spent 2 pages describing this, and this had no other role other than those 2 pages. Like, really? Like, the book could have been 50 pages shorter and might have actually been more enjoyable. So I'm interested in picking up her Wrath on the Dawn series, but if she kind of has these problematic things, such as like overly describing things that aren't necessary, plot holes, then let me know, because I kind of want to, but I'm kind of afraid after this book. And at number 1 is Vertigo of Loss and Letting Go by Analog de Leon. This is by far the worst book of the year. It is a poetry collection. I want to be honest and throw out the fact that I might have a bias against this book. I gave it a 1 star right after I read it with no bias, but I ended up having a negative experience with the author because of the review I posted on Goodreads. In that review, I was very honest and said I'm not normally into poetry. However, I felt no emotion at all while reading any of the poems. I was quite bored. I couldn't wait to get through it. I just didn't connect with it on any sort of level. And as poetry, it's supposed to connect with you on some sort of emotional level. And so maybe I just didn't get it. And he basically came and wrote a reply or a comment to me on Goodreads saying, well, did you read the whole thing? Well, yes, I read the whole thing. And even if I didn't, and I'd only read a quarter of it, if it was that bad that I couldn't read the whole thing, then my rating itself should be justified. 2, he was like, well, if you reread it again, you know, maybe you can understand more of like what I was putting into it. But like, he was questioning me as a reviewer and how I read it. And it's like, I have a right to my negative opinions and to not liking your work. And I just, after that experience, I don't know if I can come on here and not be kind of biased against it. So I just kind of wanted to throw that out there. I did give it 1 star when I initially read it, and I had it as probably my worst book of the year anyways. But if it hadn't have been for that experience, I can't 100% say that Flame in the Mist wouldn't have been, like, those 2 books wouldn't have flip-flopped. Like, it would still be on this list, but I don't know if the order would quite be the same with those last 2 books, basically. And I just wanted to be honest. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. The next video you will see are my top 5 books of the year, and I can't wait to film it, which I'm filming next.